Hello and welcome to this segment on relaxation. In this segment, I'm going to be providing and introducing two very effective, useful, and critical relaxation techniques so that you can reach that relaxed state more effectively. These two techniques are progressive muscle relaxation, PMR, and passive progressive muscle relaxation, PPMR or PPR. So let's first start with progressive muscle relaxation and what that is. Progressive muscle relaxation is a non-pharmacological method of deep muscle relaxation. This technique entails a series of systematically tensing particular muscle groups, typically starting with the head, face, neck, and shoulder area, and working your way systematically through your body down to your feet, and then releasing that tension. And while doing this, you're noticing how your muscles feel as you relax them, okay? The goal of this technique is to bring more specific awareness to these tense and relaxed states we typically engage in throughout the performance of our tasks, duties, especially in high stress, high stakes work. And so that brings me here to this graphic here. And basically, as we engage in this line of high stress, high stakes work, we experience these sensations here. We experience increased levels of activation, anxiety, stress, and pressure. Well, as these sensations increase, so too does our level of tension. And so what I think we end up normalizing and believing throughout this line of work is that high performance comes from high tension. Well, high tension and high levels of these sensations here actually bring us to this end of the performance curve, which is ultimately degraded performance, okay? What progressive muscle relaxation does is it brings down our level of tension so that we sit more consistently in that optimal zone of natural excellence and optimal zone of functioning. This is where we tend to perform better in what we do that matters to us, okay? And so PMR helps us to reach this state more consistently, and that's what we want. On the other hand, passive progressive relaxation is more passive in nature, whereas PMR is more active in nature. Passive progressive muscle relaxation is a technique that promotes deep muscle relaxation through observing our muscles in a more relaxed state. This is a good technique to implement or perform in the event that you have a physical injury that prevents you from actively engaging in progressive muscle relaxation. And it's a great tool and skill to implement at bedtime. This is because deep relaxation and falling asleep is typically associated with feelings of limb heaviness and warmth within our bodies. And so this technique allows us to reach that sleep state quicker and more efficiently. This leads to a more peaceful and calm feeling at bedtime, especially when rumination tends to sneak into our lives. What rumination is when we are reliving past experiences that we had throughout our day. Well, as we relive these past experiences, then our levels of activation, anxiety, stress, and pressure start to increase. So too then does our tension. Again, then what happens is we're trying to achieve sleep or these sleep states in a tense state. It becomes counterproductive. And so what we want to do is engage in passive progressive relaxation. So again, we bring down these levels and bring down our tension so we reach that optimal zone of functioning in order to dive into and achieve sleep. This allows us to then fully engage in that recovery phase of the performance cycle so that we can appropriately and adequately regroup and then leave that phase and enter into the preparation phase a lot more efficiently. So why is relaxation important? Well, first of all, it helps us to de-stress in the moment or after the event or in preparation to perform. This is done through helping to release this tension we may be carrying around in our bodies as a result of experiencing some distressing or traumatizing event. This is important because as we seek to process these distressing and traumatizing events, we want to be relaxed. And if we're not relaxed and we're still within that tense state, it's signaling to our minds at the moment that we are still living in that distressing experience. it is very difficult to process a distressing experience if we believe we are living in that experience in the moment. So achieving that relaxed state creates that separation between our memory of that event and the present moment, allowing us to then process that and move forward to the next phase of the performance cycle. Lastly, relaxation is important because it helps us to fully engage in adequate rest and recovery. Okay, this is why relaxation is important. Now, how do we implement, practice, and perform these skills? Well, what I have with this segment is 2 associated resource links, as I mentioned in the introduction, that show you how to perform this activity and this exercise. What you'll be able to do as you are walked through with the script of these videos, as you're walked through this exercise, you'll be able to see in more depth how this skill is performed, okay? What I have here are some tips that help prepare you to engage in these videos so that you can maximize the effectiveness of the exercise. So one of the first things you want to do is set aside about 5 to 10 minutes in a quiet place where you will not be disturbed in order to complete the exercise. Not being disturbed or being disrupted throughout the performance of this exercise, again, will allow you to maximize its effectiveness. As you practice these exercises, PMR and PPR, throughout the first 1 to 2 weeks, as you get the hang of it, I recommend that you perform these at least twice a day. And so what this looks like is maybe PMR earlier in your day and then PPR at bedtime. Okay, so you're maximizing these relaxed states at multiple points in your day so that you see what it feels like. Really, really important to think about is don't imagine yourself needing to be in an anxious state in order to practice these activities. The idea is to actually practice these activities in more of a calm state so that it's easier for you to feel what it's like to reach this relaxation, okay? This allows it to kick in a lot easier and quicker in the heat of the moment when you're anxious and when it matters most. So again, think about where you can incorporate these activities and practice them intentionally and consistently. Let's dig in.